Welcome back to more Metroid Other M, everyone! It's time to finally finish this thing up, but before we start that, I need to issue a correction. I incorrectly said at the end of the last episode that you needed 100% completion in order to challenge this super boss. That is not true. All you really have to do in order to challenge this thing is make your way all the way to the back of the main sector, which is a lot harder than you might think. We started in the docking bay here, but there's some blockage here that keeps you from getting all the way to the back of the main sector. So what you have to do is that you have to go to the living quarters right here, find a secret elevator to Sector 2, go all the way through Sector 2, come back to the main elevator, and then get to the main sector from there. So you can do it from the back way right here. And then on top of that, you'll find right here a secret door that you could not open without the power bombs. You can find this door all around the bottle ship, and now that we have the power bombs, we can actually open that. Except it's not really a door that's guarding that. Instead, it's what I believe is called a Desbrachian, one of those really nasty bug insectoid enemies that we saw at the very end of the last episode that MB was controlling. And I didn't really record myself fighting this one right here, but I did get footage of me fighting another one. So I'll just go ahead and show that for you right now. Yeah, you gotta watch out for those things. They can be pretty nasty. In fact, I think I would call them the most dangerous normal enemy in the game, especially the first time that you fight against them, but after you fight against them a couple of times, they're not all that bad. But now that I've defeated that right here, we can go here, which is the way to the top secret, super, duper secret, ultra mega boss, whatever you want to call it really. But this is the only way that we can actually get to the control deck that Adam was on, because again, there is blockage that is keeping us from getting it the normal way. You have to go this way in order to do it. And another thing is, you can see that I didn't get 100% completion, because not only do you not need it, but you can't really get it. We only have 78 out of a total of 80 missiles, so you can't get the last two unless you defeat this super boss right here. At least I think it's that way. You may have been able to come back to the main sector at some point and been able to do it that way, but I didn't get those two, so we're just going to have to get them after the fact. But before we do that, we're going to have to go through a small gauntlet right here. Yeah, an enemy gauntlet before we even get there. Looks like something is summoning some pretty nasty monsters right here. So these guys are going to be not too difficult to deal with, as we've been taking care of these guys ever since the Biosphere back in Sector 1 when we were revisiting that. The screw attack isn't as effective against these guys as it is against other enemies. You might just be better kind of dancing around it with the plasma beam right here, just doing your thing as usual. Let's go up and see if I can do a finisher here. Not going to be able to do that. See if I can get it now. Nope. These things just recover a bit too quickly in order to do that, but it's fine. I've managed to pull one off before, but again, the stump here is so small that, ooh. And yeah, there's a bit of lag right here because there are some secret enemies that we can't see right here. This is when the game really goes all out with the difficulty as far as the regular enemies are concerned. What's it summoning now? Yeah, it summons these two things right here, and then it also summons some of those invisible, let's see, what, chameleon-like enemies? Yeah, chameleon's probably the best descriptor for them right here, which is not the only thing that you have to deal with right here, so... So while we're going through these enemies right here, I don't want to just kind of ramble on them for too long. I just want to say that doing 100% completion besides the last two missile tanks in this game was actually pretty fun. It did not take all that long, truthfully, but it really kind of felt like I was going through an actual Metroid map, because we can use all of our tools now. Everything is kind of connected in a way that you wouldn't really expect. Like I said, a secret elevator to Sector 2 from the main sector, and then just whenever I would know where all the power-ups are, because we kind of filled them all out as the game went on. But you kind of knew where they were, but you didn't know specifically how to get them. And yeah, that's going to be one of those chameleon guys right here that love to stay invisible. So it was a really treat knowing where they were in the general vicinity, but they weren't always super easy to get or obtain. Sometimes you had to do some wacky Shine Spark stuff in order to get them. So it felt like an actual Metroid game. So I would encourage you guys, if you ever find yourself playing Other M and you don't absolutely hate it, like some people did, I would encourage you to go for 100%. It's really not all that tedious, and it's actually kind of fun to do. I really enjoyed myself. But here's where we get to the enemies where it's just like, you know I have the screw attack now, right? Like, we saw those two kind of armored crab, crustacean bosses, whatever. Took them down no problem with the screw attack. And we also took down those robot Zabesians, no problem with the screw attack as well. And a fun thing you can do is kind of preempt these guys with the speed boost. But again, these guys, man, you remember how many problems these guys gave us when it was just one of them? Back when we were just fighting them with like missiles and the wave beam? Boy, how times have changed. Even though there's freaking 4 of them, we just screw attack into them once and that's it. I don't know if they realized that we would be able to just screw attack them, or maybe that was the point. Like, they threw some of the toughest enemies at us, and we're just like, we're at full power now. Don't know what you guys are thinking. And the last one are going to be these guys right here. No, these are not the last wave, unfortunately. These are just going to be those really annoying things that we saw back in the, I think it was called the Weapon Production Center. Oh yeah, I should show you guys the map with all the completion stuff on it. I'll show you guys that as soon as we're done with the little gauntlet right here. Again, it wasn't too difficult, but you really have to go kind of everywhere in order to get it. You got to go back to all the sectors and things like that. You have to fight a bunch of Desbrochians too, the giant insectoid enemies, so be ready for that as well. All in all, a pretty interesting challenge. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. And of course, this guy wasn't done. Yeah, he's part of the last wave right here. But I think it's implied that these things, I don't know, they weren't part of the ship. You see how they're just kind of appearing out of nowhere, really? It's kind of like a dark void, and that's what they're appearing out of? Huh, kind of weird, seeing as we haven't seen anything like that up to this point. But yeah, we're going to have to deal with these guys again. Again, a super cramped hallway right here, so it might be a tad bit difficult. But, I don't know, he hasn't done his little, like, sucky-suck thing without, there it is. So we can do, like, a finisher. Then again, these things are usually so strong that a finisher won't even take him out. It takes, like, more than a couple. Yeah, see that one right there just didn't take him out at all. That'll be it for that one. Okay. And then, of course, they call another one, just to kind of rub it in. So, this gauntlet right here is the first reason why I would recommend. It's not required to have 100% completion, or at least have all the energy tanks, but I would strongly, strongly recommend it. Because, yeah, you can screw attack past some of these guys, but going on 2 of these guys at one time, that's going to be a tad bit challenging. I think you could do it if you're, like, good at the game, if you're really good at the game so far, but, that's just reason number 1 that I would recommend it. How about that? Okay, just gonna power slam me into the ground right there. I haven't seen that one from you before. God, you're almost done. These things, like, they're just a complete and absolute pain to the absolute end, aren't they? Okay, but with that, the door is unlocked, and we have the final save station in the game right here. Let's do it. Well, it doesn't have to be the final one. You'll understand what I mean in a second. Actually, I think it is, actually. Yeah, I think there's a point of no return after this boss, actually. Yeah, interesting. Okay, here we go. To the control bridge. Yeah, we didn't see this area during the regular game. And here's the secret super boss, guys. It's Finitude from Super Metroid. I know I said that, like, the Metroid King was the most surprising return from Metroid's past, but boy, Finitude can also give him a run for the money right there. I've not seen this guy in a long time. So this is the hardest boss in the game, absolutely bar none. The only way to hurt him, of course, is to hit him in the eye, just like in the original. Although in this one, he doesn't really, like, corporally disappear and things like that. Instead, what he does is that he just throws a metric crap ton of stuff at you. Of course, we have the little eyeballs also making their return from Super Metroid. And what he does is that he has this attack where he constantly bombards you with these. Yeah, and they hurt a good bit, and there's so many of them, and they're very difficult to all dodge at once. He can also attack you with his body, being his tentacles, and he can also use the tiny Finitude hands that we saw earlier. That's kind of a new attack. But the best strategy here is to just kind of dodge and weave around him, use fully charged plasma beam shots if you can. But it can be really difficult, and this is another reason why I would recommend that you have all the energy tanks. You have somewhere close to 100% completion, because this guy, he can dish out the damage, and it's really tough to dodge everything. God, this is such a cool battle. He slowly destroys all the bridge around the vacuum of space now. But we have the gravity suit, so it's okay. But, like, anyone else would just freaking die in this environment. And I guess he's just immune to the vacuum of space, but I don't put it past this guy. This freaky guy, I would believe is capable of just about anything. And I love, love, love his redesign right here. It's so creepy. God, look at the detail on his, like, creepy body. Ew. I mean, in the original, he looked more goofy than anything else, because, you know, it was like the bright kind of puke yellow thing. I mean, it was still creepy because of the atmosphere of the abandoned ship and things like that, the crash ship. But still, this one right here, this is freaking horrifying. So, okay, actual strategy of the battle. Yeah, I'd like to dodge and weave around the eyes, and then just try to hit him with charged plasma beam shots. But then when these little hands come out, you're better off just doing the screw attack, because I think it takes more than just a couple of plasma beam shots in order to take him down right here. And you can't open up these portals right now, which means you can't really just dodge around nilly-willy that you will. Oh, take some damage. Got one swipe with the tentacle, just like an entire energy tank. Woo. Yeah, I had to practice this guy. The first time when I practiced him the first time, I nearly almost died. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have to practice this up a bit. Unless we have another Ridley situation. And speaking of a Ridley situation, I would say, actually, is he ready to finish him off right here? Let's go ahead and see if we can do it. Here we go. And there we go, that's Finitude. I know I made him look a little easy, but that's because, one, I had all the energy tanks. You can see how he was still doing a good amount of damage to me, despite me having all these energy tanks. And two, I had practiced, of course. But another thing is, I guess why I should point out that that is a difficult boss, is that one, if you don't have all the energy tanks, you're not going to be able to take many hits, and it's really hard to not take hits. And two, I think it's near impossible to pull off a concentration against that guy because of the constant barrage of the blue eyes, so you're not going to be able to recover health like we were back in the Ridley fight. You guys will remember that I was able to recover health several times when he knocked me down all the way. But I think if you don't know what that boss is all about, and you haven't practiced him before, and maybe you don't have all the energy tanks, he'll mess you up. But okay, this elevator is finally in commission. At long last. Oh. Stupid piece of crap. Screw you. I'm not dealing with this anymore. I gotta wonder why this entire thing didn't come crashing down, but yeah, that'll do it. Okay, but now that we have Finitude out of the way, we just have to get these last two missiles in order to get 100% completion. I don't know if you get anything special in-game for 100% completion, but there is something else that you can get, and I'll be showing that off at the very end when we finish things up right here. Well, we'll go ahead and get missile number, I guess, 79. Although I don't think we started at 1. I think we started at, like, 10. Yeah, so I guess it's, like, missile 69, I suppose. And then the last one will be in here. We got a little gap right here. Let me make sure there's not any beasties hiding in here. There are some beasties hiding in here. One super missile should be no problem. And we just gotta wall jump up here. It can be a little difficult though, it's kinda finicky, because you gotta kinda screw attack right at the correct angle. Come on. There we go, nice. And this is the last collectible in the game. Nice. Let's go ahead and open that up and I'll show you guys the map, the completion map. Sweet. Alright, go ahead and show you guys this. So on the map you can see we have the completion for all the sectors. We have it 100% for the main sector, Sector 1, Sector 2, Sector 3, and the Bioweapon Research Center, which was the area where we fought the Queen Metroid in our final encounter with MB and such. Oh, and if you were confused back in the character screen too, looks like we are pretty much the only ones alive, except for Anthony, who of course survived his encounter with Ridley, and KG, whose body they're still looking for, but don't think they're gonna find it, buddy. Really, really sorry about that, but yep, we are one of the few surviving ones. We are the Ripley of this game right here. So let's go ahead and see what that special item is that Samus is looking for. Yeah, I don't think you could access these two areas before this point of the game. I could be incorrect. Maybe you could have gotten one of them, but this is it for now. Back into the old Resident Evil point of view one last time. Oh yeah, this is the elevator, by the way, guys. The reason that you can't get back up here, because this thing is permanently out of commission. That's why we had to jump through all those hoops and go through Finitude as well.
Madeline, thanks for telling me all this. I've got to destroy the Metroids and MB in Sector 0. You have to remain hidden.
No! Samus!
Don't worry. The Galactic Federation CO, who's here now, will help you.
Self-destruction protocol activated. Please evacuate the facility immediately.
Alright guys, Subvert Escape sequence! Because of course we were not going to have a Metroid game without that. And we get to do it in the Zero Suit too, a nice little callback to Zero Mission. We have a 5-minute timer right here to get all the way back to our ship. And it's going to be a bit of a long walk, guys. We got to go right here. So as Zero Suit Samus, we have none of the abilities of our suit, which means we can't speed boost, which would be really useful right here, actually, Samus. But, I mean, this is just a nice little callback, a nice little Easter egg, you know, being able to control the Zero Suit at the very end and things like that. It's really nice. And yeah, that was the last save station before Finitude because, well, that one's total. Not going to be using that anymore. Kind of like back in Prime 2 Echoes whenever you couldn't do it after you defeated the Ing Emperor. But yeah, as Zero Suit Samus, we also have our Paralyzer right here. I believe you can charge this up too, just like in Zero Mission as well. You can charge it up all the way, yeah, and then like do some real paralysis damage right here, but you can't really do anything. It's kind of lifted straight out of Zero Mission, actually, as far as what we can do. We're still pretty acrobatic. I think we can still wall kick and things like that, although I don't think we wall kick at all, so maybe not even that. But we only have one energy tank of damage, so we're going to have to get on out of here because we are completely defenseless, and I love this too. With the Ridley thing going in the background, although I guess technically it was always the escape theme, right? Even back in Super Metroid I played this theme whenever you had a timed exit or something like that. Oh, get out the way! You do have to watch out. It is possible to die in this segment right here because, again, in the Zero Suit we can take damage, and it's quite a bit. It's not as much as you would think, having like Zero Suit protection. But you can only take, I don't know, like 4 or 5 hits from the Zabesians, I think. So yeah, keep that in mind. Get the good old slide right here. And then, because we can't get past these guys, just go ahead and charge up the Paralyzer, and that charges it, causes it to shoot all the way back up for some reason. Not really sure I can tell you, but yeah, thankfully I've practiced this segment too. Although again, I don't think this is supposed to be like hardcore, like, there's really a possibility of you dying right here, but oh god, I actually jumped down too far. Yeah, well, at least we'll get to show off the athletic ability of Samus right here. Yeah, it's supposed to be maybe more like the segment at the end of Prime, or not at the end, the beginning of Prime 1, where you do have the traditional countdown, but there's really, I mean, as long as you're not super incompetent, there's really, like, no actual danger of not meeting the time limit or something like that. Although, you know, I would get pretty nervous if I was here just about now playing this the first time. Okay, go ahead and do that. Oh, we can do 2 birds with 1 stone. That's pretty nice. And I love how she, like, slides. Too bad she doesn't crawl, which would be, like, another just really cool Easter egg back in Zero Mission when she kind of crawled, because, you know, the whole reason the Morph Ball even exists is because they didn't want a crawling animation for Samus, so that goes way back. We'll just go ahead and head on out of here, yeah. Boy, she can jump really high even without the suit. Boy, she must have had, like, the high jump boots or something like that. Almost there. Oh, watch out for that guy. Well, it does take more than half the time in order to get out of here, so, again, not too strenuous of a time limit right here, but, I mean, it's something. It's not like we can do it with an insane amount of time left, like over half. Ow! Okay. I guess 10 damage from fire right there, jeez. Alright, is this it? Are we out? Keep doing it, Samus. Yeah, you got this, girl.
Sorry for keeping you waiting, Adam. Let's go home. Perfect. Congratulations.
And that is going to be all for Metroid Other M, everyone. Usually you get some alternative title music right here, but I guess since I already beat the game on another file, we're not going to get it. It does sound pretty nice right there, though, but... whew, well, that's it. Before we end it all, I want to show you guys what the items will actually unlock here. Not only do you get a theater mode once you beat the game, And I'll go ahead and show this right off quick. You can look at all the cutscenes in the entire game, although you can't look at all of them until you've actually beaten the game with that secret ending right there, which you get right here, after you beat Finitude and things like that. But not only do we get that, we also get a... let's go ahead and show that off right there. A gallery mode. Now, this unlocks more and more pieces of illustrations and concept art the more that you unlock all the collectibles in the game. And once you have 100%, that's when you'll unlock every single one of them right here. So if I go all the way down, you can see that you get the good stuff here at the very end. You kind of get like the secret stuff. You get like the Metroid Queen, and you get Finitude and things like that. Really cool stuff. You can also get Samus in her various designs at different points in her life, which is cool. Nice to see a youthful Samus, but that is going to be all for Metroid Other M, guys. Thank you so much for watching. To be honest, this playthrough took a lot more out of me than I originally thought, just because just a lot more preparation went into it than I originally thought would be, because I was just trying to make every episode to where I was talking more about than what was just happening in the game, really. I wanted to talk about the design of the game, different facets of the game, the controversial parts of the game. And back when I was editing some of these videos, I really do talk non-stop, which is honestly kind of exhausting, but I hope that I got my points across. Maybe that's the bad way to put it. I hope that I introduced my points in a way that was not only articulate, but also maybe convincing in some way. As it looks like that piano is going to kick in now. Yeah, that's really nice. But my main goal with this game was to not really, like, convince anyone that my opinion was the correct one, or that my opinion was the right one, or something like that. It was more to introduce a different mode of thought for certain elements in this game that aren't really represented too much in kind of the popular opinion of this game. I realize, you know, it's really easy to dunk on this game. It's really easy to hate this thing. It's the popular thing to do. I mean, you'll get lots of internet upvotes and thumbs up and things like that if you make a joke about this game. Say, the baby, or something like that. But I don't know. I just hope if you guys watch this whole thing through, number one, I hope you enjoyed it, because, you know, that's the number one thing. But number two, I also hope that, you know, maybe if my arguments didn't convince you, that you at least got a different side of the story, that you got a different point of view, and I hope that you understand it, and I hope that it makes sense, and I hope that I was able to articulate it correctly. But that is it for Metroid Other M, guys. And I guess, I've pretty much done almost every Metroid game now, haven't I? Although there are still two more that I can think of, two really good 2D games. Although one of those I can't really record right now. It's kind of difficult to get 3DS footage, unless I get like a capture card. But the other one, it's actually my favorite in the series. Although I've been putting that one off until I had a larger audience. Is that time now? I don't really know. But there's gonna be a long wait until Metroid Prime 4, so maybe someday sooner than I think. Yeah. But until then, this is Virgo, signing off.
Wow.